let him decide.
Ricardo is showing line and line. I'll get back to that in a second. Ricardo blocking line. Really good shot by Taylor. Just creeping over. Ricardo to me was, you know, I've been out there coaching for a long time on the World Tour and got to coach against Ricardo forever. I don't think I ever really even got a win. The guy was unbelievable. But what I noticed he did more than anyone back in the day was he would call line, but he would take anything he wanted.
Yeah.
You know, he was one of the guys that the rule is, I'm going to just post up line, but I'm going to reach anywhere. If that ball's being hit like low. Big heat by Kamer. Taylor's in the right spot the last 3-4 digs here, but it looks like he's maybe one step shallow.
Yeah.
He's got the angle red, but he's been getting hit way away from his platform. You can see the Mike Dodd dig right there.
That's a habit that people have on the beach out of necessity to a certain extent, but I'm not an enormous fan of the bent arm kind of stuff. A lot of these guys really do a nice job, especially a guy like Taylor, who's an amazing defender. They do a nice job of using their arms as kind of a cradle against their chest a lot of times, and I think that can be very effective, but sometimes it also leads a little bit into a bad habit of swinging your elbows all over the place.
Absolutely. Key point here, 19-18. Kamer being smart and going way high off the top. Looked like, again, the defense had him red on the right line, but the trajectories are being played with here. Another awesome look by this net cam. That thing is phenomenal.
Yeah, in case you're wondering, this match is happening at a real high level over the net.
Yeah. 19 all. Serve down the middle. Absolute butter from Jake. I'm going to give Jake and Taylor a lot of credit here. Jake's a good hand setter, but he doesn't always hand set. And Taylor must be passing it so softly and so precisely in this amount of wind, because Jake is using his hands every single play and giving Taylor exactly the set he needs. Our first set point here for the Americans, Gibb and Crabb, 2019. They go short to Kame. And winds up with a big field goal.
Right up the middle.
Yeah, on the setting, something, you know, Jake is a very good hand setter, and it's something that Coach Hildebrand the last 4 years worked with him a bunch on, just getting him, because, you know, to me, skill comes down to a confidence factor.
Absolutely.
Everybody out here at this level, shot.
They have the skill to do it.
They have the skill, but you look at a guy like Casey Patterson or Phil Dahlhauser, they're hand setting no matter what all the time. They just have that confidence. And so Jake is just more and more confident as a result, and I think it's important for his team because Taylor, even though he's a great jumper, being a little bit of a smaller guy, needs a more precise set.
And that is the first set right there.
Great cover.
Another example of Ricardo lined up on the line against Taylor, who made a great dig.
Set number one.
Ricardo blocked pure line on in the middle of that rally, but he dove all the way and stuffed that ball, but a great cover by Jake Gibb. The sappy veteran.
Yeah, great cover. And just to wrap up on Jake's setting, I think without a doubt, he's the best transition bump setter in the world, in my opinion. I haven't seen better at chasing down balls and laying up hittable sets in transition off of digs than Jake Gibb, which is a wonderful combination for him and Taylor, in that Taylor's an amazing defender. So they're touching lots of balls, getting lots of opportunities for Jake to showcase that skill and score points for his team.
Absolutely. I remember in the offseason of 2004, Jake had won his first tournament in 2004 with Adam Jewell, and was a left side player. And Stein Metzger was looking at different guys, Matt Furbringer, Mike Lambert, and Jake to play with for that next year. And that was one of the first things that he and I talked about. We were sitting at home watching a bunch of video, and it just kept getting proven over and over exactly what you just said. Is like Jake just has this knack. From day one, it seemed that he had a knack for knowing how to create the right line in transition. The line being the line from his platform to target, even if he was spinning or dribbling or running off the net. He's had a great knack for the touch and the line of how to deliver a transition set.
Yeah, that's kind of a perfect way to say it, because I almost think of him as an artist of sorts. And what I mean by that, this is kind of a story I've told before, but it's one of my favorites, because when I was working a little bit with him and Coach Hildebrand in 2014, I was like, Jake, it looked like he held his hands sort of weird, you know?
Yeah.
And I said, how do you hold your hands? And he showed me kind of the standard that you learn as a kid, where your wrist bones touch each other and your thumbs lay over the hands and everything. And I said, that's absolutely not even close to how you hold your hands. And then I tossed him a ball, and he did what he does, which is something different than that. And he was just, it comes so naturally. He's got that feel, like you were saying, that line of the set, so naturally that he was unaware how he even holds his hands when he does it.
That's pretty funny. I could see that too. There is something a little awkward about how he does it.
Well, you see it a lot on the beach too, like people grabbing a thumb and holding onto it, which creates a really solid platform. If your arms are capable of laying together in that formation, mine are about 6 inches one higher than the other, and I would shank every ball, whichever.
If you held one thumb.
Yeah. But
for those of you out there listening, Rich had a long career with the U.S. national team. Was voted best libero in the world at least once, 2009?
I got it in 2007 and 8. That was in World League. Yeah, so
7 and 8. One of the best diggers in the world too. What would your platform look like?
I had kind of the standard, and then it opened a little bit to try and give myself some.
Left hand in your right?
Left hand in my right, yeah.
And it left it open once in a while.
Well, I think it kind of, that's another thing I've talked at length with Coach Hildebrand about is kind of like internally rotate your shoulders to give yourself kind of some more surface area on that platform.
To get closure between your arms.
Keep the thumbs like right next to each other, you get a little bit of a bony platform and a smaller surface area, and obviously more surface area the better, in that you kind of have some room to work with if you're not perfectly precise in your contact, right?
Yeah. St. John used to be pretty kind of infamous or famous for that, St. John.
Yeah, he kind of cupped it, right, and had like both of those forearms just scooping balls.
Not always hand in hand, sometimes just hands next to each other to create massive surface area.
That was a thing more indoor with us that I think is maybe less pertinent out here, where balls are coming at you so quickly sometimes that we would just say, open your hands and just like throw some paddles out and make an angle towards the sky in case it hits you, because you don't necessarily have time to throw that platform together in any formation.
Men's side, this game's getting faster and faster every year. Here's a great replay. Jake Gibb going up on the right side. And Kame getting a little bit, I don't want to say lost on defense, but he's lost some of the reads he had in the first set. He's going to have to play Jake a little deeper and probably move in on Taylor and start playing him a little sharper. Wow. That's a gutsy shot against a blocker like Jake Gibb. Yeah. Just to challenge him underneath and slap it like that. And as you said earlier, Ricardo just looks like, no problem.
That's I think his 19,875,000th side out in his life. So
they serve Jake short for a new change, and he goes baby cut. Kame's all over it. Great footwork to go hit that inside set.
Don't hurt yourself.
And they score a real point. Starting to see some real points scored on the so-called bad side here, Rich. The game was won on the bad side as well.
Yeah. Sometimes, so tell me how easy or how difficult it is as a coach or as a player to identify if the winds are changing in a match.
As a coach, it's pretty easy. You were sitting there, but as a player, it's tough. I think that players often forget. They just feel the general direction of the wind a lot and stay with that and forget to do these little checks. As I had briefly mentioned before, I think you can, like Jake and Taylor have the wind in their face, but it could be in your face left or in your face right, which is a huge difference in trying to get your feet and shoulder to the attack. So they just check every once in a while, give it that little foot kick. Sometimes Jake does it. Is he going to do it? They'll give it a little foot flip. But again, that tells you what the wind's doing 2 feet off the ground. May not tell you what the wind's doing 15 feet off the ground here. As Ricardo goes around for a back set to the right, where he has also won many, many tournaments. I think he moved to the right the first time in 2001 to play with one of our coaches here in the USA, Jose Loyola. Ricardo had played left his whole career with Zemarco, leading up to the 2000 Olympics, where he won a silver medal. And and then moved to the right to play with Jose Loyola, who was definitely considered one of the best in the world in 2001.
Of all time, too. Let's give him credit for that, because along with another partner of Ricardo's, another former partner, Emmanuel Rigo, Jose, I think, is a member of several of the top 5 winningest teams of all time on the World Tour, which is amazing.
One motion. That's okay.
See Taylor getting hit in the chest again.
Now, what's your opinion on that? Because I certainly have an opinion, but I'm curious.
Well, working with Taylor and Trevor last year, it happened a lot too, and I would just try and ask him to back up. I said, you're getting the line read, the angle is read correctly, but you're just too shallow. And he wanted to be able to pick up some cut shots, so he wanted to be a little shallower, but now I think he's been hit 5 times minimum in the chest on swings, and he hasn't come up at all with any of them. I think if he took one step back, he would, as you mentioned, be able to extend his platform and be a little longer and straighter out in front of him, and he's quick enough to still get that cut shot. One of the fastest guys on the beach, he and Nick Lucena.
So I tend to agree with you there. One of the positive things I think I would take away from him getting hit in the chest, though, is his posture on defense. I like that even though he's kind of maybe crept in a little too much, he's still upright, and everything's in front of him, and his eye level is good. So I like that element of it, but you may be 100% correct that he's a touch shallow.
Yeah, having that upright posture is huge on the beach. For any of you younger players out there, we don't want to defend necessarily how we might do indoors, or maybe have you been taught with the shoulders forward. We've got to have that platform out in front of us and have that upright posture to make this ball go high. Don't be afraid of the wind so much. Get that ball in the air. Oh, are you kidding me, Ricardo?
Sweet shot by Ricardo.
His wrist mimicking an owl's neck right there.
Right? His hand might end up backwards there. That's as sharp as Taylor's was earlier, but he had to do it on a fast, low pass that was going to definitely end up in the net. Again, there's the line block, but he's diving into the seam of the court. We may get a replay here and watch.
And one of the distinctions, going back to the defensive posture, that I like to make for younger players is, you know, we so often hear get low on defense, particularly indoor. And I like to make sure that kids especially understand that. Another nice block there from Ricardo.
Back to back.
Like low isn't a reference to how close my head is to the ground, right? Depth is determined in my legs. So we still want to have our head up so I can see what's going on. I don't need my face close to the ground.
You want to stare at your shoes? Yeah. Oh, wow. Ricardo and Fuego.
Yeah.
He goes crazy owl head wrist, as you called it. Yeah. Owl head wrist cutty to back-to-back stuffies and an ace. And I will say this, and I heard someone else say this once before. He was Phil before Phil. Ricardo was Phil before Phil existed. He did everything. He scored all the points from the service line, from siding out. He could hand set any ball in the world, and he could jump serve.
Did he hand set in his heyday, Ricardo?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's interesting that he's gone away from that, because that's...
He's so good at the roll bump set. I don't think there's anyone in the world that can roll the ball with top spin off his platform to such a precise window as Ricardo.
Yeah, that's where I would certainly give the nod to Phil if I were making an argument. And comparing the two, I would say that Phil's hand setting is just so otherworldly.
And he uses them so often.
Yeah, and he uses them exclusively. But yeah, I was unaware that Ricardo used to be a hand setter.
Yes, he can absolutely dish it.
Sometimes I think he does the thing where he just pulls out enough of his tools to get the job done. You know what I mean? He's not going to give you the whole bag.
Agree. Yes, yes. I think he's done that his whole career. And to an extent, Phil as well once in a while. I mean, that's rare air in the level of volleyball if they're playing for over such a long period of time. But I totally agree. It almost looks like he's just doing enough to get by with minimal perfection. And then when he needs to bring that next level, he absolutely can. I considered him the best player in the world for a very long time before 2006. And Phil became Phil.
And Jake a little upset that he didn't get a hand on. Ricardo just snuck it by him. Yeah, we call the doing just enough to win the Milton Berle theory.
The who?
The Milton Berle theory.
Okay.
It's kind of an outdated reference, but one of my favorite sports writers made it. Just enough to get the job done.
Yeah. Taylor really using that cut shot quite a bit here today. When he faces that cut, I just think you got to release. You can't be digging line when he turns and faces there. He's obviously had some great snaps down the line as well, but his cut is really sharp. Another nice bump set right there. Jake gets the block back off of Ricardo's either left arm or chest to bring this game a little bit tighter. 10-13. Might get a sneaky look here. Not quite. Camera's going through a 7.9 earthquake there.
Yeah.
There's a set with a little more room. Taylor's deep enough. Got a long platform on it. What is the call?
And so the call is that Kane touched that ball after Jake went for the pokey set. Kane says,
I think that's the right call there. I hope we can get a replay on it here. Yeah, here we go.
Oh, now's when we need the net. Now's when we need the net replay. So they're saying, the ref is saying that
Kane touched that, I believe.
The ball that wasn't coming over the net. Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he touched it.
Yeah, of course.
Not sure what he's complaining about. It looks pretty clear. Pretty clear from our point of view, at least, that, that he touched that ball and took it out of Jake's hand. So I believe it was just 9-13, 3 unanswered by the double B team, which I'm realizing.
Yeah, double B.
Double B. Crabbabug, Gibbabub.
Yeah,
Taylor,
they are on the
back
good side too,
line.
right?
Yes, serving into the wind. Gives it a little extra pop. Ricardo says no problem. Comes to the inside of the court and misses. We got a tie ball game.
So there's an interesting element of especially two-person beach volleyball. Ricardo, you talked about how he could single-handedly take over matches.
Uh-oh.
He can also get into his partner a little bit, right, when things aren't going well.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're seeing that a little bit here.
Wow. That's our first truly poor set of the match, too. Just a clean overset at a not very good time. I'd like to give a shout out right now to the world famous DJ Roche, just sitting here 12 feet to our left. I haven't forgot about him all day, but when he pumps in my favorite song ever in the history of the world, P-Funk, Flashlight, he's going to get props. A lot of handsome gentlemen on this stage right now. Look at this lineup over here with Glazebrook.
Z, I would think that a guy whose favorite song is something as cool and funky as P-Funk would have said the word shout out a little less white than you just said it.
That's white soul.
That's white soul.
As deep as it could go. DJ Roche, spinning all day, every day, all around the world. We're lucky to have him on the AVP. Taylor with a chance to get his 6th unanswered in a row, dug by Kane. Are you kidding me? Love Jake's reaction.
I love it too. I think Jake is maybe the best in the world at that too, celebrating the point that has clearly gone the other way.
Like only he can. He's got the celebration.
Usually he does the full walk back to the service line and then turn around and utter shock. What?
Got a great game here. A great game. 14-all before Taylor Crabb gives a out of the middle cross court.
Ricardo and Kame switching to what we think is the good side. Certainly was for Jake and Crabb. Jake and Taylor, excuse me.
Yeah, quite a run there. Jake gonna give the standing hop float, which works. Catches Kame deep. Unbelievable chest dig by Taylor. Wow.
What a play.
So that's kind of what we were talking about a little bit before. The elbows weren't flared. He was using his chest as part of his platform and really controlled that nicely. Oh, we just missed the dig part of that.
Just missed it there. Somewhere Mike Dodd is smiling. Mike Dodd, legendary Mike Dodd, silver medalist and 75-time Open winner. USA coach as well. Used to dig quite a lot in that shallow position with the arms bent and get some chesters, and somehow MD controlled him better than anyone in the world.
Yeah, unbelievable. From to now 17-14. It's an 8-1 run that we're seeing Jake and Taylor on. That's pretty unheard of, especially after that sequence we saw from Ricardo of the Cuddy stuff ace.
Right? 4 unanswered, and they've got him back, all of them. Oh, that's a tough break. I don't think Kame has a case there.
I don't think so either.
Looked like a clean play by Jake. And really nice job by Taylor on the soft block to get all the way around that ball and face where he's setting. I love that. He could have easily just kind of swung it laterally, and that ball would not have ended up in that same spot for Jake to get that swing.
Yeah, we're seeing some impressive synchronicity between Jake and Taylor right now. I mean, Jake is touching and affecting just about everything. Whatever he doesn't swat back, Taylor's digging.
Looking a little bit like some of the performances we've seen from Phil and Nick this year.
Yeah.
Just perfect, synergistic team defense.
I love to jokingly refer to Jake as a streaky blocker because somebody said that once, and that's just ridiculous because he's a great blocker, not just in streaks.
Right. And we're seeing a little frustration now from Ricardo, kind of hanging on the net, knowing that this is starting to get away from them, but it is 19-15, and if they can get this 19-16 switch, they've got a chance to come back with the momentum change when we freeze here. New rule this season.
Ricardo.
Boom, and he gets the explosion. 16-19.
That is
now,
his.
Is to try and get as many as you can before Jake gets 20, right?
Correct.
So that you're pretty close when we go to this freeze scoring, and you have to score a real point. Wow, that's the attitude that he throws once in a while when I think he's playing great. That's
Easy does it down the line.
if you break that slowly and early into the cut, then Taylor's going to see it.
Match point and the score.
Match point. We've got the freeze here, Rich. Do you like it?
The freeze?
Yeah.
I think it certainly creates excitement. Yeah, you know,
Agreed.
it is kind of unfortunate from a fan's perspective when you have a match like this that's been so exciting, been such high level. If Jake were to serve a trickle ace right now and just end kind of
Yes. I think it's a great rule. I love that we're playing with it.
Yeah, like there's a great example. Like, if we want this match to end that way.
An accidental miss serve.
Yeah,
the
so
let serves do not count.
you get one freebie.
You get a freebie. You can't score on it, and it's not in play, but you do get to replay it once.
Once. Another net serve here at fault. Side out.
Oh.
Oh, what a recovery set from Ricardo.
Survive. It looked like Jake's serve probably, I thought it was going to hit the tape. It looked like Kame might have thought it was going to hit the tape too, because his platform came out really late on that ball to the middle. And they got away with it. Got to score a real point now. They go to Jake Gibb on the good side. He's running the wide set. Good solid play. First real point scored in the freeze. And for the viewers at home, Rich, can you tell them about how many serves and the switch and all that?
So since this is the second set, which is a set to 21, every 7 serves, the players will switch sides.
Regardless of the score.
Regardless of the score. Just to keep it fair, because that's how many points you're spending on any given side when it's rally score.
Wow.
There we go.
2 very similar plays for back-to-back real points for Santos Schalk. Jake around the wide set both times, which again is kind of tough in this wind. With swirly wind, to get precise with the lateral direction of a set is pretty tough. I think both were good sets, but both caught the wind and died a little bit and disallowed Jake from taking a full swing.
And players do that. Why? Why do we run the tempo sets to the pin, inside middle sets? I think oftentimes it's maybe against a blocker of the caliber of Ricardo. I want to make him move or kind of get him in a less advantageous position against me offensively.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Trying to get him to move. But right now, this wind is requiring tremendous preciseness for that movement of the set. And that's one of the scary things with a push set, a wide set, is when the wind slows it down and stops it from going out wide, and that ball never reaches your right hand. You've got to reach back into the court. You can't swing very hard. And so he just went with 2 off-speed angle shots right to Kame. I guess one thing you hope as a defensive team is when they run that and it dies, that you're blocking line. Because if you're blocking angle, they can just poke it right over you.
Right, right.
But because they run that line block, Kame is just sitting right into that soft angle position. Back-to-back points and a timeout. Jake goes with it again, takes the inside ball, and that's the one easy thing to do with an inside set as well, is go high line. I'm surprised they ran the line block again.
That's a little bit of that cat and mouse game, right? You're thinking, does he go to it a third time?
Good snap from Taylor. Kame coming right in the middle of the court, takes a look. Jake with a soft block. Uh-oh. That's a chuck.
Yeah. That's an uncharacteristic miss from Kame on the cover.
Yeah.
Because he and his partner Ben Saxton on the World Tour, we refer to them as covering savants. I mean, the things that they cover, stuff blocks, you know, what should be stuff blocks that they throw an arm out and cover with control are amazing.
They're savants.
Yeah, and it happens so often that it's not a luck thing. That's a dagger. That's a dagger right there.
Yes.
You dodged a bullet and then you miss your serve on top of it.
So as Rich mentioned, that's 7 serves. So regardless of the score, they're going to switch sides. Every 7, and they'll try and side out from the good side. A lot of the recent serves going to Kame. Jake's probably going to give it the standing hop. And looks like the call from Taylor is a palm, which should probably just be a seam block, ball seam. Might have been a 5 block, right? A 5 maybe is when you go over real wide, real early.
It looked like a 5 where you're just kind of baiting the guy. You're showing him so early that he almost can't believe that that's where you're going to stand.
Right.
Ricardo,
as you said,
fooled.
the cat and mouse.
Yeah.
Ricardo's like, I've seen that cheese before. Staying with Jake here towards the end of the game. Great set by Taylor. This side a little easier to get that push out, and Jake can take a full stroke cross court. You're going to get a great angle here on the replay.
I find that one of the advantages / disadvantages to a good side, bad side, when you have a wind that's coming from one direction, like behind the court, is you get sets that are tracking towards the net versus tracking away from the net.
Yeah.
If I'm going in and expecting a ball to be on the net and it's blowing over my head, that significantly affects my range as a hitter, right?
Huge.
And Jake's on the side now where that ball is going towards the net the whole time off of his partner's hands.
Yes. It's a lot of line blocks in a row for Ricardo. I'd love to see them try and run something different here, unless he's going to dive off the ball. I'd like to see him go for a rip here, too, into the wind. Kind of a vanilla snap. Taylor hadn't been looked at for a while. Really nice pass set, high line combo there.
This is where
their, what, 6th match point, I believe?
Yeah. This is where the, I don't know, kind of lack of time together maybe for Ricardo and Kame can hurt them, because the communication on some of these block and defense plays seems to be.
He's got the 5 block again. No touch? If there's no touch, oh. Upper ref saw it. Big wave Dave saw the micro touch. Maybe just a pinky nail.
Yeah. Jake acknowledging it immediately after giving the emphatic no call off the hand of Kame.
No, yes. Yeah. Got to serve tougher than this. Another vanilla floater, but got him in a little trouble. Great roll set by Ricardo.
And it is 19.
Kame likes that little curveball, right, on his crossbody. He definitely has some right to left spin going on a lot of his swings.
He's got some interesting mechanics with his attack that kind of leads him to that crossbody stuff more often than not. But he does it well. He kind of slices it thin so it comes at you a little strangely.
Oh, Taylor runs it down. What can he do off the net?
What a play.
Perfect choice.
I mean, that's great, just speed and heads-up play by
I think
Taylor.
that's the only swing that goes down, is that delayed flat high line.
I just love that he's ready right there.
Yes.
If you're standing there watching the other side at all, that ball goes down and is a huge momentum swing for Ricardo and Cam, as they would have leveled it at 20. But now you're back on the good side and you still have another match point.
A lot of wind in the face. Love to see him take a little swing here. Hit it hard. Kind of vanilla jumper. Ricardo takes a big look. Too long of a look, I think. See how long he looked at the court?
Really long.
It's too windy out here to look away from the ball being set that long. And so he got the ball, his contact on his shot was really low and got touched by Jake.
And I'm in utter shock that Cam didn't cover that. I'm being dead serious. I can't believe he didn't cover that.
It was a very coverable ball.
In any event, a very, very high-level match there. We saw the advantage from a fan's perspective of the freeze, in that they were able to make some excitement into that match when Jake and Taylor would have otherwise just sided out and the match would have been over.
Absolutely, and if Taylor doesn't run down that broken play the way you like there, then it's 2020.
Yep.
We get a totally different ball game.